Morning Journal, Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. So, Monday morning, August 7th. I was very busy that day. Had a lot of running to do. As I drove past the park in East Palestine, I noticed that construction workers were knocking down the bridge that goes over Leslie Run. And I was just in that portion of the creek under the bridge, poking the soil with my stick, and chemicals were coming out the week before. And I knew that when they knocked that bridge down, they were going to knock chemicals out of the bank and out of the soil. So I couldn't be there. I called a really good guy, Randy DeHaven, and I said, "Hey Randy, they're knocking the bridge down. Would you mind checking it out? I bet they're going to knock chemicals loose." And it was awesome because he said he would go down and film and explore. So later on that afternoon, a photographer from Time magazine had told me she was coming into town and she wanted to come take pictures of my wife and I. And she had asked me repeatedly if I would take her in the creek, and I didn't really want to because I get health problems every time I go in. But she came to the house to do some photographs, and they said, "Well, let's go really quick into sulfur and I'll show you just some chemicals." And we did, and she took some pictures. And I don't remember whether I text Randy at that moment or he texted me, but I just remember the text saying, "We've got dead fish." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "Can you meet me there?" And he was at home. He said, "Yeah." I said, "I had a photographer, a journalist from Time magazine with me, and let's see what you're talking about." So he met us there, went to the park, and it was some of the worst chemical contamination I've seen in a long time. Exactly what I thought would happen happened. So we got there, I put my waders on, the reporter put some muck boots on that I had given her, and Randy was also in his waders. There were dead fish everywhere. There were crayfish. There wasn't a living thing in that stretch of the creek. And they had a makeshift dam, like one of the ones they had in the park, made of some type of material, but it was breached. And there was water flowing into the area and water flowing out. Randy released a video that night, just a short video of the dead fish. And I've learned recently that in the last few months that when I find something pretty exciting, I don't release it right away. And Randy's awesome. This is not about that. I don't release it because when I've released things, something funny happens always the next day. When Randy released his video, those fish were all gone the next morning. And either there's a lot of raccoons with belly aches or somebody removed those fish. Then on Wednesday night, Wednesday morning, the Morning Journal came out. And I'll read you what it says. So keep in mind, the water was much deeper the day that Randy and I and the woman from Time magazine was there, because after they did their little cleanup act, and hey, people that would think negative of what I'm saying, well, they should clean it up. Well, that's not what's happening here. Their cleanup is horrible, if you want to even call it a cleanup. But when we catch them in their lies, they go and they do something where they try to just cover that section up to make it look good when it's not really doing anything to placate everybody or think that we're conspiracy theorists. But anyway, Fishkill and Leslie Run unrelated to derailment, agencies say. I totally disagree with that. And you will see in the video why. Not in this video. kind of going backwards. So this isn't the video of the night that we were in the creek with all the dead fish. You will see that. But this is by Stephanie Elvard. East Palestine, a video that was posted to YouTube Monday that shows what looks like gross contamination and dead fish in a portion of Leslie Run spurred an investigation by both the state and federal EPA, as well as the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Tuesday. All three agencies confirmed the fish kill and poor condition of the water, but the Region 5 EPA called the contamination scum, debris, and biological matter, and unlikely to be related to February Norfolk Southern train derailment. Instead, the EPA pointed to the current construction project of replacing the bridge at the entrance of the city park about 30 feet upstream as the more probable culprit. The EPA was made aware of this area, viewed the video, and visited the site this morning to evaluate. The EPA Public Information Officer John Breakall said in an email, "As of today, the floating material is not sheen. It is scum, debris, and biological material, likely generated from the teardown of the nearby bridge that enters into East Palestine Park." Now, before this came out, I was already starting to edit the video of us with the fish kill. And I was saying, I can't 100% prove that the chemicals killed the fish because we weren't there at the moment when all the fish died. We were there a couple hours later, but you could guess what killed the fish because the chemical contamination was so horrible. And somebody is not talking about the chemicals that were in the creek. Now, they say that it was scum, some kind of biological scum and debris from the bridge. How did they not see the chemicals you're going to see in a moment? And how did they not see the chemicals that we uncovered the night of the fish kill? They did see them because they were horrific. They're bad in this video, but they were horrific when they knocked the bridge down and they killed the fish. And that's what they would have seen the next morning. And that is why we believe they did a quick water jetting of the area. And then the whole landscape of the creek changed after that. The water was very shallow after that. They took the dam down and they dammed it up even more at the top so that no water flows down into that area, which makes it a lot more difficult for us to uncover the chemicals. But the federal EPA went on to say a silt fence was holding the material back and confirmed that aquatic life has been impacted. No, I had been down there. The silt fence had nothing to do with the fish dying, in my opinion. Water is flowing in and out of it. That silt fence was breached, and there was enough oxygen in that area for those fish to live. There were no chemical or petroleum smells other than typical creek odors. It did smell down there. Breakall said EPA did not see the material yesterday and cannot confirm if odors may have been present. EPA has followed up with the Ohio EPA and Ohio DNR to further evaluate the situation. The Ohio EPA echoed the federal EPA's assessment with a statement provided by Anthony Chenal, media coordinator of Central, Northeast, and Southeast districts of the Ohio EPA. It is unlikely that this incident is related to the train derailment or cleanup activities. The statement read, "The latest testing results in Leslie Run show no contamination downstream from the derailment site. Ohio EPA remains on scene, working closely with ODOT and ODNR to monitor the situation." I'm going to repeat that. The latest testing results in Leslie Run show no contamination downstream from the contamination. That is either the most inept, imbecilic thing I've ever read, or he just is speaking out of his butt. Andy Chow, ODNR spokesperson, said his agency was made aware of the fish kill in Leslie Run early Tuesday, adding that the Division of Wildlife and the Ohio EPA are on scene investigating. What you are about to see is a video shot the same day this article came out in the Morning Journal. This is our response to the EPA. Keep in mind, this is the area of the Fishkill. How does the EPA not see what you are about to see? And keep in mind, it was much worse on the day the EPA was doing their inspection before someone cleaned this area.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah, look at it.
We could send a 10-year-old kid here with a stick, and he can find this shit in 10 minutes. But the EPA sends a crew down here and says they can't find any trace of chemicals unless they run. Oh my God. EPA, you can't find this shit? Look at that shit.
This is the area of the Fishkill.
Before I
Right
cut,
there's the bridge. Right here's the chemicals.
look at this shit. I could send a 10-year-old kid here and they could do a better job of the EPA finding these chemicals. Bridge is right there. This is where all the fish were killed and mysteriously disappeared the next morning after Randy posted his video.
These chemicals were released when they knocked the bridge down.
Leslie Run. No evidence of chemicals. Morning Journal today. EPA sends a crew down here and they can't find any chemicals.
No chemicals, huh?
August 9th, 2023. This is August 9th, is it August 9th or 10th today?
It's just in night.
It's the 9th.
That's
This
today's
is the
paper.
same day this paper came out. Look at this shit. Look at all this shit. There's the bridge. Maybe we should be in charge of the EPA. Environmental Bullshit Association.
Keep in mind, the water
Look.
is now more than a foot shallower than it was before they did their
Same
oops,
day.
we got caught cleanup.
August 9th, 2023. And look, they can't find a trace of chemicals in Leslie Run, where the big fish kill was, that I believe somebody tried to cover up, because all the fish were gone the next morning. And there's the bridge. That's right where, this is a stretch of where all the fish were dead.
They have done this to me before. If you remove the water, it's very hard to show the chemicals because you have no water for the chemicals to float out into. But don't be fooled, people. Those chemicals are still in the bank, the soil, and the creek beds.
Look,
See how it comes up?
all we do is move our feet in the sediment, and the EPA can't find it. Look at this bullshit. They are either
Chemicals.
the most inept workers working for our EPA, imbeciles who couldn't find their way out of a paper bag, or they're lying to us. You choose.
I want to say they're lying. Because a blind man can smell this shit, even with a mask on.
Well, a blind man can smell anyway. You mean
Yeah, you know what I mean.
a blind man can see it. Look at this shit. We got a big one here. Look at this shit. When you get closer to the banks and start moving in the dirt and the sediment, give it a minute, should come up.
See how it just formed?
And here we go. EPA, how do you not see this stuff? Or is it that you don't want to see it? Randy? Jake? Here we go. Lava lamp display. Here we go, look at that. You know, it's funny. It's the big ones, the EPA, or whoever's doing this is too lazy to water jet under or to move. That's where we get, after they get down here and do their thing, that's where you get most of the chemicals. Because look at that, look at this shit.
Wow.
Because whatever happens to sabotage us, you know, well, you wouldn't want to hurt your back moving up some rocks. So you take the easiest way out. And you do a little spot cleaning here and there. Look at this shit. You better get some people with muscle to move these big rocks. And then you can hide it better. Look, it just doesn't stop. It just keeps coming up. Same day the Morning Journal came out and the EPA stated they couldn't find any chemicals in the creek here where the fish were killed. Look at this shit. Let me put a foot in here and see what we got. Look at all this shit. Look at this. And there we go. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come.
You have to get the right position to see this stuff.
And that position is not 20 feet on the land looking down from the bank. Because you will be fooled. You will be fooled, reporters. You'll look from the bank and say, these guys are all conspiracy theorists. The creek looks clean. Until you start stirring up the sediment. Oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. Look. Oh. That's fucked up. Alright, well, I'm in a little bit of trouble because my glove broke and I didn't know it. It's a lot of these rocks on the bank, too. Like last night, or Monday night, the water was higher. There we go. I just saw them popping up, I guess. Oh, a little bit. There we go. You gotta get in the sun. Look at this shit, EPA. You gotta lift up the heavy ones to hide it, you assholes. How do you like that? No evidence of chemicals. It's in the banks. It's in the beds.
Yeah, bubbles.
Let me move this whole rock out of there. I don't have hands anymore. It's real bad behind it, too. Come over here, Jake. You
Oh, I see
sides.
it.
You see both sides.
Oh. Wow. What a joke.
It's all clean in East Palestine, and it's all fine in East Palestine. EPA says it's clean, so hey.
Right where they want to build our $25 million park.
Castles in the sand.
Get the hell out of here.
If you want to hide this stuff better, get some stronger people. There we go. Look at that shit. Can't find any trace of chemicals. You better look harder, my friends. And look, from that rock, they're still coming down the creek, feeding into this. See this? It is still coming down. Look at this shit. We are just feet from the bridge and the Fishkill, where the EPA this morning announced they cannot find any trace of chemicals in this creek. And the Fishkill, which mysteriously all the fish disappeared the next morning. We either got some very sick raccoons with belly aches, or we've got somebody with a freezer full of fish. But they say they can't find a trace of chemicals down here when they sent their team. That team should be fired. They just keep on coming. Hey, how's that? Look at that. Everything is clean in East Palestine. Just tell me when to shut up, Jake.
Don't ever shut up. So we're the hell out of here.
I don't want to intrude on your video.
No, you're good.
Look at that shit just coming out.
Mine's going to all the senators.
Let me disturb it a little more. Let's see what we got from this bank and this. Look at that, just flying up on the mud there. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? If they weren't so deadly, they'd be beautiful. This is like Willy Wonka's Creek, only these aren't rainbow starbursts. These are rainbow deadly chemicals that kill fish, kill crayfish, will change the DNA of any animal that drinks this shit. I sure as hell wouldn't be hunting for deer this year or anytime soon. You want that to be in the deer that you eat? You sons of bitches. Well, this is an endless supply. The deeper I go, the more it come out. Look at this shit. You see it?
Oh yeah. How deep does it go?
There was a report that some little boys in China were getting sick from these chemicals. That's how deep it goes. To the other end of the earth.
Wow.
How does the EPA not see this stuff? They deny they found any chemicals in the creek.
Sad day in America.
Is this still America?
No. No, it's not.
It's America 2.0 media.
Yeah. Did you see their hose laying up there?
The what?
That green hose?
No.
Did you come down outside?
Were they sucking stuff out?
Go on the other side of the bridge.
No.
We got a white car here. Looks like a cow. Yeah.
Good. Have them come down and look at it. They can answer some questions.
No, their white hose and their fire hose is the same thing they used when they were sediment washing the last time I got them on video.
Yeah?
Laying up there on the other side of the bridge.
Look at this shit.
Which one you get this time?
Well, so here's the thing, Randy. Randy says he just saw hoses up there. The same hoses they were using when they sediment washed before. Here's their folly. They're not cleaning shit out. They're shoving it down the creek. At least when I saw, they were sucking nothing. Were they sucking stuff up when you saw? Yeah, they just.
They had the back truck with the hose sitting in the water. The guy was in the truck and there was nobody with the hose.
Yeah.
It was just sitting in the water. I mean, you can see the little dam there set up.
So here's the trick, EPA. If you want to hide it, throw some muscle into it. Lift the bigger rocks. Have fun.
This whole area of the creek was much deeper yesterday before they dammed it and drained it. Makes it much harder for us to find the chemicals.
Well, that's sufficient for now, huh? Seen a fish in here? Good?
I only seen one. It's right there.
Yeah, this is all dead fish in here.
All the dead fish that were here yesterday were all taken away. All the crayfish are gone. After Randy's video aired, the whole landscape of this creek changed. A dam was removed and they dammed it up more at the bridge.
Like the dead crayfish over here. We're trying to grab those today, too.
Wave hello to this guy. What license plate is that? My eyes aren't that good. Michigan. So basically you're saying he's a local, right, Jake? He's a local? Hey, why does he leave when we leave? This car was waiting for us when we got back. When we climbed up the hill, we saw them taking pictures of us. There's a man in the back and there's a man in the front. And when we came up, they started to leave. So we have a local from Michigan checking us out and writing in a notebook, and probably just coincidence he decides to leave when he sees us getting out.
They were saying they were filming us.
What's that?
They were filming us.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, they're probably saying they're going to be dead in 5 years. So what's it matter?
Yeah, what's the matter? We got one person in the front. That was weird too. Got one in the front seat, and then there was a guy in the back.
I didn't see the person in the back.
Yeah, that's when I said hello. You rolled down his window.
Was it Alan?
Huh?
Was it Alan?
No.
Yeah, I know.